Hello! Welcome to Duncan Egg Bricks and to part 71 of my Hogwarts MOC series. Today we'll be continuing with our Hogwarts 2.0 adventure as we have another go at Filch's office in a new place. Continuing with my kind of refurbishment of Hogwarts Castle, I'm going to take a look at the next part here, which is Filch's office. Now, yes, I have done this already, but this is a different version, and I've actually been able to put in some thought to it beforehand rather than using it as a space filler. Now, Filch's office hasn't really changed its location. It's still located directly underneath the Grand Staircase Tower. In the films, it is in the sort of pepper pot outside the Great Hall, and is a completely different location in the books, but this is where I've chosen to put it. Previously, it was right next to the dungeons and the potions classroom. Those have been moved, hence the change in colour tone here from the light bluish grey to the kind of more regular tan. So what we've actually got here is the path from the kitchens and from the Hufflepuff common room, so this connects into that kind of atrium area just there. So what I've kind of done here, if I move Filch out of the way, is I've suggested that there's a kind of corridor coming along here. The Grand Staircase Tower then goes on here. This is the kind of walkway between the Great Hall and the base of the Grand Staircase Tower. So yeah, this bit is completely detachable. Need to think of some kind of little scene to put under here. If you've got any suggestions, leave it in a comment down below. The outside is not particularly different. The only things I've really done is I have changed it so it's now just one layer of slopes on the top, and then I've actually changed the back ever so slightly. If I bring the camera up, I've used these 1x3 inverted arch pieces, and the reason I've done that is I wanted to match it to other similar places like the divination classroom, and one of the builds that is coming up, which is also going to come off the Grand Staircase Tower, which use those larger 1x5 inverted arch pieces. So I thought if I use these, they look fairly similar, and I've kept everything else pretty simple overall. I have reused that sticker there. I believe that came from I want to say it was the Potions Hogwarts Moment book. I actually cut it to fit onto a 2x3 tile, but there we go, just a random tile of a wizard. I'm sure it's Lego graphic designer or something like that, but there we go. And then yeah, the outside has been changed ever so slightly with one of these 2x4 wedge plates, which are still fairly new, although they've been out for sort of 6 years now, and then continued the colour scheme that I've been using in previous parts. And then if I bring you around here, this from the outside, this is where the kind of looping path in front of the Grand Staircase Tower goes. The Grand Staircase Tower itself has been made bigger, so this space is actually a little bit bigger as well, but I will show you that when we get to that video, which will be the next part, I think. And then, yeah, so I basically just tried to keep this walled off as much as possible. It doesn't look fantastic, but it's fairly neat overall. Spinning it around, you'll notice there's actually this kind of right-angled cutout just here, which doesn't connect into the main office, and that has a lot to do with what is actually underneath the stone tower building, which sits just here, and then what's going to come around here. And I think I might have mentioned it in previous videos, but I'll mention it again anyway. That's actually going to be where the new Philosopher's Stone challenges are, because it gives me a little bit more room to play around, seeing as such a focal point of the first book and film. So that's just a corner within that. So yeah, who knew it was right behind Filch's office, but there we go. So here, Filch's office, we have got your standard dark brown door, which I have left space to open inside. I'm hoping you're actually going to be able to see what's inside here. I tell you what, I'm going to take a wall out and then make sure you guys can see. Okay, so not an entire wall, but I think this does give you a better look at what's inside. So on the left, as we go in, we have got a set of filing cabinets, whether you want to think that's two filing cabinets next to each other or one really wide one, but that's where all the detention cards are that Harry's forced to copy out as part of his detention in Half-Blood Prince, I think. And then on top of there, we've got a couple of books using very similar techniques to what's found in the Diagon Alley set. Just a nice variety of different colours and pieces there. I've got a sword hanging there above, not quite sure why, but I'm sure that Filch would love to use that on some of the students. Then here we have got a broom. This could be Harry's firebolt when it's confiscated possibly, or it could just be a broom that Filch uses for sweeping up. Spinning around to this side, we've got one of the educational decrees pinned up on Filch's wall. Whether this is while Umbridge is Hogwarts High Inquisitor or if it's afterwards as a bit of a memento, who knows, but he's definitely wanting to keep that alive. Here on this panel here, we've got a sticker which I believe is from the most recent Hogwarts Express and Hogsmeade Station set. It's just some pigeonholes with some letters in there, but I figured that could again be some sort of paperwork that Filch is forced to do. Over there is a sticker from, I think it's one of the 2018 wave of sets. If it'll focus. There we go. I believe I actually had already used this in a different place, but I've decided to move it here, and I think it looks quite good in the corner. And then over on this wall, there's a couple of much older printed tiles. We've got a kind of potions tile there, potentially the quick spell course or something like that, and then this, which wasn't a Harry Potter specific tile. I think it originated in Castle, but yeah, it was used for some Harry Potter sets, and I have reused it here. Of course, some handcuffs above there, which again Filch would dearly love to use on the students. A couple more educational decrees on the wall there. They're just stickers from that Room of Requirements set that came out in, I want to say it was 2019 or 2020. Some dynamite there, clearly being confiscated, I think. Lantern on the floor, and then we have Filch's desk where we've got one of those printed newspaper tiles, The Boy Who Lived. I would have liked something a little bit more specific, maybe about the Ford Anglia being seen or something like that, but I will live with that for now. And then we've got the brilliant printed Fanged Frisbee, which I think is from the Weasley's Wizard Wheezes set, I want to say, but I couldn't go without one of those. Again, as something that Filch has confiscated. And we've got a little lantern build, a goblet, and an inkwell with a quill inside it there. And that is my new updated Filch's office. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's a bit of a strange shape because it's kind of the inside of a bunch of panels. But I think I've made it work. And I think you do still get the kind of suggestion of a roundish shape, so if you want to, you can imagine it being up in that the pepper pot, as people call it, outside the Great Hall. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And yeah, I wasn't sure whether I was going to move this to somewhere else in the castle entirely, but ultimately I think it works quite well here, and does still leave that space just there for the corridor. Yeah, so pretty happy with that. There is quite a bit of unused space in here, but I did really need it as structure to support the grand staircase tower on top, so unfortunately I couldn't put too much more inside there. But yeah, there we go. That is that's Filch's office. The next part in my Hogwarts MOC update. I do hope you enjoyed this update. It was a little bit of a shorter one, just as there wasn't as much to cover, but next time we are going to be covering a big one, and that is the Grand Staircase Tower, something that I was looking forward to rebuilding for quite some time, and actually it was one of the main sticking points towards actually going ahead and rebuilding parts of Hogwarts, because I wanted to make sure I got that right and could scale things appropriately. So if you've enjoyed and are looking forward to the next update, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel for those future updates, and I will see you all again very soon.